Or will Dave Chisnall bring his relatively long personal drought for PDC titles to an end? It has been pretty much 18 months since Chizzy last won a ranking title. He has never gone so long without winning one. Last year was the first year where he didn't win a title or make a major final whilst playing in the PDC. I'm Dan Dawson. I'll be talking you through this one. It's the world number 12, Dave Chisnall, taking on the three-time Lakeside champ Glen Durrant for £10,000 and the title here at Players' Championship 2. Alongside me for it is Chris Murphy.
Yeah, full credit to both of these players for reaching the final. Glen Durrant, who was beaten in his first match as a PDC player yesterday in the first round by Alan Tabban, and I had a bit of a chat with him before today's action, and he said he was feeling the pressure a little bit. He's dealt with that and booked his place in this final with some fantastic wins along the way, notably one against the world number 3 Peter Wright. I wonder how much confidence that has given him and helped him on the rest of his run. But also for Dave Chisnall, as you said, hasn't won a title in 18 months. It's almost a year since the last time he reached a final as well, Chisnall. But we have seen signs lately, particularly that run to the last 4 at the Masters from Chizzy, that he might be getting back to his best. And it should be noted that he is a man who's had injury problems as well.
Well, Dave Chisnall, of course, a man who made it to a Lakeside final himself, beaten by Martin Adams before he made the switch over to the PDC, and very quickly established himself as a PDC champion. 5-time major finalist Dave Chisnall, but never managed to win a major title. And
174.
Glen Durrant does know what it takes to win titles. He's won nearly 40 in the BDO system, and that 174 from Glen Durrant gives him an advantage in his opening leg, looking to break the Chizzy throw.
80.
There's a man who certainly knows how to win finals, but as is his opponent, a dozen titles in the PDC Dave Chisnall has. Might have been a relatively long drought, but you don't lose a nap completely, do you? He knows how to do it. Will be a landmark day, you feel, for whichever of this pair goes on to trouser the £10,000 winner's cheque.
78.
And they might have, in part, to have to thank the Ferret, who knocked out Michael van Gerwen in the quarterfinals, ending his perfect start to 2019.
89.
Well, Chizzy didn't thank him very well, did he? Knocked him out of the tournament.
$121.
Well, a single there would have left Dave Chisnall 159, a bogey number. But it may matter not anyway, because Durrant absolutely loves double 18, and 96 is pinned for a 14-dart break of throw. Glen Durrant, in his first PDC final, leads Dave Chisnall.
Yeah, very impressive stuff. He showed his fight in the very first match of the afternoon today. He was forced again to a last leg decider, having lost 100. One yesterday against Alan Tabban. And he had to break the throw in that deciding leg against Madars Razmar. When he needed it, Durrant produced the goods. He went off with 6 perfect darts in that 11th leg.
99.
Went on to win that match and hasn't looked back since, beating Wright, Lurchbacker, Thornton, Henderson and Cullen. And in those 2 matches against the Scottish pair, he was 4-1 down and went on to win those games 6-4.
Every single 87. One of those, by the way, are either PDC title winners or PDC ranking finalists. It is not as if Glen Durrant has just seen the draw open up for him and he's taken
99.
advantage. He has battled and fought past some real quality today. Obviously Peter Wright, the standout player, but Joe Cullen, a 2-time title winner and a major semi-finalist, major quarter-finalist last year.
Chizzy looking down for 19s. Another one will leave him a finish.
99.
He couldn't find it, and Durrant keeps the advantage in the leg, looking to double his lead. Reminder that we now go to 15 legs if we need to in the final of Pro Tour events. First to 8.
Everybody remember it was first to 7 in the semis on your board, Murph?
Yeah, seemed that way.
Yeah.
Well, Dave Chisnall certainly did, and that was the main thing. Chisnall's helped himself to 399s in this leg.
Another one? No, stays on there. 140, sensible. Leaves him 64, looking to break straight back.
I did notice in the semi-final against Clayton, he couldn't quite make his mind at which double to leave, but double 18 or double top on quite a few occasions. Dave, he was equally proficient on either, to be fair. I'm not sure if he decided on tops there or went wayward into the 8, but he pins it nonetheless, and he does level up and break back immediately.
I think Dave Chisnall was not quite aware that he'd broken the throw there. Either that, or he just fancied a walk.
Well, he styled it out, didn't he?
100.
He's turned on the style at times today, including a 9-dart finish in his win against Roby John Rodriguez. That's the story of the day. 4 9-darters in the same tournament. Incredible stuff. 2 of them captured on the stream as well.
Well,
60.
Glen Durrant making the final. Certainly, if he were to win it. I mean, with that happening, 4 9-darters. I mean, this is a day
180
with all kinds of stuff going on as Chizzy fires in his first 180, and you know when he gets one that more are coming. That's his 19th maximum of the day.
84.
Yeah, Does has managed to fire in 15 of his own. In fact, the stats before this match suggest that we could well go all the way because there's not much in it in the tournament averages. 94 and change, a pair of them.
91.
Chisnall had beaten a couple of big stories from the World Championship, Nathan Aspinall and Luke Humphries, before that win against Roby John Rodriguez, but he had to win the last 3 legs against James Wade
139
to reach that quarter-final, semi-final rather, against Clayton. Now he's not going to stay there because Durrant's back on 218. Also win against Rob Cross in the mix for Chisnall as well this afternoon.
Well, you look at who Chizzy's beaten today. I said that Durrant has not had it handed to him on a plate. It's not like the draw's opened up. Chizzy, it's been about as hard as it possibly could for him.
135.
Because Aspinall and Humphries, we know, 2 Premier League stars now. Roby John Rodriguez was playing fantastically. He needed a 9-darter to see him off. All around the board, double 5.
35.
Oh, Chizzy.
Now, Glen Durrant has been exceptional in this kind of range this afternoon. Took out 96 to break in the first leg. Doesn't even consider going for the treble there. That leaves a ball.
40.
Couldn't find it.
Seeing these go wrong spectacularly first dart. Oh, nearly. Nearly, Chiz. Oh, well, that's a great second dart. Dave Chisnall does go 2-1 up. So Chizzy, yeah, 2 of the 2 Premier League starlets.
140.
In Nathan Aspinall and Luke Humphries. Roby John Rodriguez, who's playing some very good stuff, needed a 98 average, which included that 9-darter to beat him. And then back-to-back sees off the world number 2 Rob Cross,
44.
the European champion James Wade, and then Johnny Clayton, who's been playing fabulously all day and just got rid of Michael van Gerwen. That is a tough ask.
Well, look, if we're going to include the contenders as Premier League players, then Chisnall could go through this tournament, if he's to win it, and beat 5 Premier League players. A man that's been overlooked for that particular tournament himself this year.
96.
To be fair to Dave Chisnall, I don't think he would argue with his non-selection, particularly this season.
No, absolutely not. And, you know, he is a man who is used to winning titles and he's used to being in major finals. But he didn't do either of those things last year.
58.
Those injury problems, he had problems with a hernia, I think. Certainly set him back. But maybe we're going to get the best Chiz this year. And if we do, expect 98. Him to win titles. And potentially more than one.
This is a very tidy leg from Glen Durrant on throw. Left himself double 16 95. After a dozen darts. And it would be incredible symmetry, wouldn't it? I'm sure you made reference to it in the semi-final as well, that he could do exactly what Stephen Bunting did and win a title on his second tournament as a PDC player.
No
and
score.
He's come over to the PDC with the biggest fanfare since Stephen Bunting.
Yeah, exactly that. And we saw that was a springboard for Bunting to go and have a very successful start to his PDC career. Not just winning that title, but made a semi-final at the European
40.
Championship and got himself into the Premier League.
Yeah, World Series as well. All the riches and big stages and bright lights that are on offer in the PDC.
Game shot.
That double 16 was on offer for a little bit longer than Durrant would have anticipated, but he finally pinned it.
$180.
180, number 2 for Dave Chisnall.
$46.
Was his 8th perfect leg, Dave
41.
Chisnall. The one he hit against Roby John Rodriguez today. And the fact that he's hit so many, some dart players absolutely made up, they just get one in a meaningful tournament. But it just reflects how often he kicks legs off with maximums.
Yeah, we've seen Chris Dobie hit his first this afternoon. Michael van Gerwen hit his 472nd. And if they carry on like this, we're going to have to start producing stats for 9 darters, not over the career, but in the day.
Yeah, I'm not sure if 4 in a day is a record. I've got a feeling we might have had 4. Did we have 4 in a day 2 years ago when Michael van Gerwen hit 2 in
No, in a
one
weekend
game?
We had 5 across 3 days, I think it was.
Ah, yeah.
In the old
100.
halcyon days of the UK Open qualifiers here at Robin Park.
Remember them? They were mad, weren't they? About 250 people playing on never-ending boards.
92.
Well, we're going to add a bit more history in this final and have our first 8-7
Game
final
shot.
in a Players' Championship. We said at the start that the stats suggest it could go the distance, and so far there has been nothing to separate this pair apart from a single leg.
97.
Well, it was this kind of start in the semi-final between Durrant and Cullen. But Cullen just started to miss a few doubles and Durrant punished him. And once he got that gap opened up, he was able to just inch towards a 7-4 victory.
$171.
The horse.
Durrant, yes, the horse. He's had a 174, a 171 now. Just wanted to mention as well, credit to Joe Cullen, because I think he was the first to mention that last year he was
22.
well below par in floor tournaments, and he's come here this weekend and reached the last 16 and a semi-final in the first couple of days.
Curious though, we're still not seeing him play his best stuff. You can dig through the averages. Yesterday he was nowhere near his best, but managed to win games, and I suppose that's the most important thing. But the most important thing here for Glen Durrant is to level this match up at 3 apiece, and he's going about it the right way, because 171, 180, 6 perfect darts in succession, leaves himself 53, and Chizzy floundering 250 points back.
Game shot.
Well, just to revisit that point though, Dan, as Durrant does level up after 6, I think that's going to be shown in whoever wins this tournament, that it's not the averages that earn the titles. Glen Durrant has been inflated by that last leg. He's up at 96 now, but
140.
this pair haven't been firing in the astronomical stuff that, say, Michael van Gerwen was yesterday.
Yeah, well, I think we saw that last year, didn't we? Where, yes, there were some days where whoever went on and claimed the title was
60.
averaging 100 or more than that over the course of the day. And there'd be some massive averages in there, you know, 107s or 110s. But it was still quite possible, and I believe Peter Wright was a man who won his one title
60.
on the Pro Tour last year by averaging 94 for the day. And he was very strong on his own throw, if you remember rightly. But it's just doing that there'll be a crucial moment in a game where checkout has to go, and it does,
100,
and you can seal the game from there. Durrant has been masterful at that today.
Just to give you an insight into the standard of play across the board, the tournament average for yesterday's event was above 90.
26.
Glen Durrant in coming to the PDC. He hasn't made any big statements, hasn't he? He's kind of said, I'll see how it goes. It's a challenge, the last challenge, he says, in his career. He's coming over as a newcomer at the age of 48. He hasn't said, I've got this particular target to reach the top 10 in a year or whatever. He respects the standard of
55.
all 127 other tour card holders. And he knew it would be hard work and perhaps wasn't that surprised to lose in the first round yesterday to a man like Alan Tabben.
Well, he's a very humble guy, isn't he? He's very
82.
Self-deprecating. I was shocked almost when he won the Lakeside title, was handed the trophy, and the first thing he says was, I know I'm not playing Michael Van Gerwen and all these other,
60.
top boys in the PDC. I'm only playing what's put in front of me, which it was a strange thing to say.
Well, a chance to break here. Another there. Leaves him 7-7.
108 scored.
Just checking. And now he takes aim. It could be a big moment, this. And it's not far away. Not much wrong with the technique.
This would be a very Chizzy finish. Treble 20. It's not there for Chizzy.
60.
Now, first things first, hit the big 3. Don't hit the treble 3.
Oh, the double. Almost. They did see earlier on, actually, Glenn, a couple of times had loose darts. One of them didn't even score in the middle of the leg. It went below the double 3.
5.
He also had one that hit double 19. He needed double 2 there and managed to fling one either side of that target. And now Chisnall has a much more gettable finish than the one he had when he visited the Yockey a moment ago.
Treble 20 still the target first up. Could be 2 tops. There's one of them, and what a guide. Is it in? It looked in. Yes, it is in, Chiz. Come on.
He's asking what he's got left, Dan.
Game shot.
That's what you've got left, Chiz. Hit one, and if you need 2 minus 1 equals 1. Hit another one. That's what you needed. That's what he's got.
And then bizarrely apologised to Glen Durrant for taking out exactly what he needed.
96.
Yeah, if the 1-2-2 could have been the turning point when he missed that dart at double 7,
60.
but then I'm not sure if that dart that was pretty close to the double 3. Sometimes you can tell, can't you? If they plant it right in the middle, you think they're definitely going to get the double, and often they do. But yeah, twice in a match earlier, Glen Durrant, he had a dart at double 19 just mid-leg that obviously must
42.
have kind of slipped out of his hand, and one that went out of the scoring segments completely.
A bit like the old Rob Cross wild dart that he often used to get.
Well, a bit more like Kwan Sung when he hit the tyre at the World Championship, to be honest.
60.
3-time Lakeside champion Kang Sun. Could that happen?
I think that someone's clipped that up on YouTube as the greatest leg of all time.
It was the greatest leg of all time, Kang Sun.
Has this been the greatest day of all time, Dan?
85.
Well, it's been special. 4 9-darters. This incredible story with Glen Durrant. However this game finishes, it's an incredible story.
45.
Johnny Clayton and Michael Van Gerwen are in their own personal battle to make every single game they play against each other on the Pro Tour an absolute classic. Somebody does something ridiculous whenever they play each other. The last 3 games, Clayton's averaged 106 and beaten him. Yesterday, Van Gerwen averaged 111 and beat him. And the time before on the Pro Tour, Clayton averaged 111 and beat him.
And let's not forget that they beat each other
82.
at the Grand Slam as well, didn't they?
Yes, they did. They did in some belting games.
We might decide to switch somewhere else here, Glen Durrant.
174.
Found what was 4 times it hit 3 big trebles, and all in different combinations.
134.
Well, that just keeps him honest. The tricky switch, as we call it. Oh, it is a tricky switch. And a shake of the head. Does he bust here? No.
28.
Well, Chisnall took out a ton in the previous leg to edge ahead using 2 double tops. Needs 1 treble. Still needs a treble. And now back for tops to open up a 2-leg lead for the first time in the match.
100.
Well, he hit it twice in the last leg, but couldn't pin it there, and he was some way off it, Dave Chisnall. They can't shake each other off, can they?
Game shot.
4-4. In a race to 8.
And Glen Durrant has the superior average by 7 points at 91. That's mainly because of those big visits he's had. Dave Chisnall cutting a frustrated figure
40
at the start of this 9th leg. His does a smelling blood now.
$48.
No, is the answer to that.
Well, he outscored him, Dan.
Well, if you score 8 more than your opponent in every round, you're doing all right, I guess.
140.
Not going to outscore him with this visit.
47.
The pair broke each other's throw in the very first couple of legs of this match, but since then it's gone with the player throwing first.
85.
And it just has had a feel of a really tense, cagey final. There's been some good stuff in it, but it does just seem like a huge moment for both players, this.
Yeah, completely. And, you know, there aren't many players
85.
who've had experience of more ranking finals in the PDC than Dave Chisnall. But it has been a while.
Yeah, I mean, the combined number of finals must be incredible for these two players.
Absolutely. That's a third 180 for Chiz.
But it must feel so important, Chisnall having not been in one for almost a year, Durrant in his first in the PDC.
137. Game shot.
It's a 14 darter.
$100.
I don't think you can really appreciate how different all of this is for Glen Durrant.
85.
You know, you talk to the guys who played at the Grand Slam, the BDO representatives, and even the ones who came to Q School, and it was like they'd stepped onto an alien planet, the way the tournaments were run, the setups compared to what they were used to. And even days like this, where you start off with 250, 300 people in a room, and it's all hustle and bustle, and then by the end of it,
134.
It's deathly silent out there in the Robin Park Tennis Centre. It's all new for Durrant.
It's not just that, it's the attention that he's been receiving as well. He said on the first couple of days at Q School, the amount of people 41. That were watching him, and he looked around all the other boards and nobody was seemingly interested. And then first 2 days here, rightly so, he was put on the streaming boards in his first matches.
96.
And he's had to kind of shoulder that burden, that interest in let's see how Duzza does. And there'll be some almost poetic symmetry to the fact he was knocked out in his
40.
first match by an old hand from St Helens. Could end up winning his first tournament by beating one of the leading lights of that darting hotbed.
Alternatively, it might be that he only loses
75.
to players from St Helens, in which case he's going to be absolutely gutted because there's a fair few around. Needs to stay straight here. That's the main thing. Got to find the 20 segment of some sort.
60.
Yeah, well, look, that's not as bad as it could have been.
Could be entering a pivotal passage of play here. Both players with combination checkouts that require just one treble. Well, that's not an absolute disaster for Dave Chisnall, but it means he does need to find another treble.
Just a whisker away. It would have given him a dart at double 18. He does like double 18. They both like double 18.
75.
Well, he's left it in the end, but Duzza has the chance to restore parity once again. That could be tricky. Stepped across to try and find a clear route to treble 20, but it's clattered against the other darts. There was an option for 2 bullseyes there, but that could have been a
88.
long shot. Seen it a few times though. Whitlock at the Grand Prix last year, I seem to remember, or the year before.
Yeah, we've seen it here in Wigan. The UK Open qualifiers last year. Michael van Gerwen and Michael Smith did it to each other within a couple of days. Double 18 for Chiz.
Game shot.
And we do have a 2-leg gap for the first time in this final. There is some daylight between these two. There's nothing in the averages. It's both high 80 stuff. But we do have Dave Chisnall 2 legs up and 2 away, and maybe
140.
He can put a bit of a sprint for the finishing line in here.
Yeah, the shackles are off. A bit more freedom in the throw of Dave Chisnall, and Durrant under duress.
40. $59.
Well, it's been gritty. And there have been comebacks from Glen Durrant already today. Notable ones. From a long way behind in pretty short format darts.
Yeah, he's been in 2 games where he's had to win 5 legs on the spin. He'd require 4 legs here and can afford to lose 1 more.
98.
So it's not all doom and gloom yet. But you do get the feeling that this is a big leg in this match, because if Chisnall wins it, he's 1 away. And then there would be no margin for error for Glen Durrant, who hits a third 174 of this contest.
$83.
Just a little slip there from Chizzy.
Well, it's a good attempt, and just setting it up could be enough here.
78.
Treble 20, I would think, will be his first dart. A lot of the Dutch players go bull first. Treble 1 is never a good option in this instance.
Nor his single one, really.
23.
Only 23, leaving a dodgy 98, and Durrant has earned himself 2 darts at double 6.
Game shot.
Needs only 1 of them and breaks straight back.
Well, as quickly as we saw that gap open up, it is closed up again by Glen Durrant. Hold a throw here and he levels the match, and you could see Dave Chisnall just banging himself in the forehead. Worked so
100.
hard to get that advantage, and he's seen it halved immediately.
It's the timing of those big scores from Glen Durrant in this match that has been impeccable. The 3 174s, the 171 and the 180 that came in the same leg, all in winning legs for Glen Durrant.
But a 180, and it's the 4th one for Dave Chisnall. Maybe it has just given him a kick up the backside. Maybe he thought that he had the game won, 100. That he had Durrant where he wanted him. I don't think you can ever think that against Glen Durrant. He's too good, he's too dangerous, he's too experienced.
$57.
Well, he would have won it had it been last season, Dave Chisnall.
96.
Well, on the first European Tour event where we introduced the extended format, we saw Peter Wright and Michael van Gerwen in the final. Peter Wright was first to 6, first to 7, but van Gerwen was first to 8 and won the title.
140.
Well, Chisnall was first to 6. Will he be first to 7? Durrant's going to be on some kind of finish.
134.
Yeah, good stuff from Glen Durrant. Get himself down to a 2-darter. But Chisnall's going to get a dart. It's at the bull.
75.
Some way off. But he'll come back with a choice of doubles if Glen allows him back. Crucial moment. Massive dart.
51.
And he's not happy with how he threw it. Pressure. Has to be.
Which way, Dave? 9 for tops. Nope. Decided this time on double 16.
Game shot.
Well, the choice baffled me, but Dave Chisnall proved to have made the right one, and now is just one leg away from a first title in over a year and a half.
Dave Chisnall will baffle you with science and batter you with tungsten. One of the greatest Pro Tour players we have seen over the last few years. And he could be closing in on a 13th ranking title.
$140.
He was confident at the World Championship, Dave Chisnall. He said he'd been fit, he'd been injury-free, he'd been practicing a lot and playing well. And he was feeling good about his game. We saw him at the Masters. He looked dangerous there. He hasn't looked at his best here today, but he's found a way to win. And that's been what's missing from Dave Chisnall, because there are times last year when, on the Euro Tour, broke the world record average on the Euro Tour. Averaged
74.
More than 117. But it wasn't getting him to titles.
And as you said at the start, if you look at the list of names that he's beaten, he was, handed a draw against Nathan Aspinall, reached the semi-finals at the World in round 1. That was tricky. Navigated his way past Luke Humphries. Then the 9-darter in the match against Roby John beat the world number 2 Rob Cross.
58.
Beat the Masters finalist James Wade, having to come from 5-3 down to do so. So off Johnny Clayton. And now is 1 dart away from doing for Durrant in the final.
105.
The width of the wire away. Glen Durrant has to hope that more misses are about to come from Dave Chisnall.
59.
But even if they do, he is a long, long way behind. It's been an incredible achievement for Glen Durrant to reach a final in just his 2nd day on the PDC Pro Tour. And is there still a twist in the tail? Surely not. Surely not. Oh my word. Glen Durrant takes out the big fish, the big finish, 170 to save his skin in the final. And Dave Chisnall, having missed 4 match darts, has it all to do again. What a moment. What a man, Glen Durrant. What a match.
$137.
Well, if Glen Durrant is to go on and win this title and go on and perhaps win many more, how big could that 170 finish prove to be in the context of his PDC career?
It was over. I was gone. I was on my way down to interview Chiz. I was wrong.
40.
I may be interviewing Glen here.
Yeah, I wasn't just hogging the mic, by the way. Dan was halfway downstairs. It's quite
48.
a trip, and a few extra steps there, Dan, on the old pedometer.
or this journey isn't over just yet.
96.
The most iron ring of iron ring shots from Glen Durrant.
Yeah. 96 from Durrant there, leaves him on 128.
81.
Chisnall not on a finish, so Durrant will probably go for treble 20 here. Well, he's gone that way anyway. I don't know if he's aware that Chisnall's not on a finish.
88.
But we are almost certain, Dan, to have a last leg shootout.
56.
Is there anything certain, Murph? Bearing in mind what we've just seen.
Well, this looks certain.
Game shot.
Wow. Glen Durrant has survived match darts from Dave Chisnall. 4 of them. 4 match darts that would have seen him win it 8-5. A 170 checkout. You may not see a better shot all year. It has saved his skin and given him a chance of winning his first PDC title in just his second event.
59.
Yeah, Mr. Dart to take out 121 and then return to miss 3 more. Glen Durrant waiting on 170, and who would have thought? I didn't think it was possible
56.
to produce such a monumental checkout at such a moment in the match.
It is quiet down there, but there are a few people watching on the screens. I've never heard a noise like it when that bullseye went in. Obviously, I was halfway to the booth there to go and interview them. It was sort of like
57.
a sigh, but an excited sigh. It was odd.
$100.
Bit of venom in that throw from Dave Chisnall. He might be a little... You can see him tapping his head. He knows he should have this in the bag.
Will the big moment end up meaning nothing in the end for Glen Durrant?
He did miss darts to beat Ian White in his last final last year.
He did. That was 6-5 in Milton Keynes back in March.
125.
Well, again, he should have switched really there, Dave Chisnall. He would have left 163 had he not found the treble. Well, like you said earlier, Dan, baffling maths, but battering darts. Well, he must be feeling battered after being floored by the big fish from Durrant earlier on, but now Dave Chisnall wants 1, 2, 3 for the match.
Treble 18. Chizzy gets another match dart.
83.
And he's left tops, but he might not get a go at it. Glen Durrant, is this your moment?
Well, the 170 was the skin saver, the table turner. Is the 108 going to be the match winner? It's going to be almost as incredible a feat to achieve this finish now, having put that dart where he put it, and we didn't need to see where it landed because Durrant's reaction said it all.
92.
Well, we had an excited sigh as described by Dan Dawson at the end of that 170 combination. Will Dave Chisnall now be able to breathe a sigh of relief? He's missed 4 for the match, but he doesn't miss again, and despite the incredible fight of Durrant, it's Chizzy who brings his title drought to an end. A 13th PDC title, a first in a year and a half. Credit to Glen Durrant. He's played an incredible part this weekend, and I'm sure he will in the future of PDC darts. But today belongs to Dave Chisnall, and we're going to hear from him now, talking to Dan.
Congratulations. Come and stand here. Dave, look, we're going to talk into that one there. Dave, congratulations. Just talk me through the last few legs there, because you must have thought this is mine, and then for him to take out the 170, did you think it was inching away from you?
Yeah, I thought when he took the 170, I thought that I'll probably lose this now because it's disheartening. I'm like, wow. misread 4 darts to win the match 8-6. But it wasn't a good last leg, but it was steady. I had tops left, he missed the 108. And I took it. I played well all day. I've been behind, but I didn't give in, and I've hit my doubles when I have to. So I think I deserved it today.
Well, look, just looking at how you've played over the last 18 months or so, which is the last time you won a title, there have been times, weekends, where you've been playing fabulous stuff. You just haven't managed to get over the line and win something. It's important to have these days where you're the best player in the room, isn't it?
I was the best player in the room, but I'm one of those players who don't give up. Like, I can be 3-0 down, 3-0 down against Wordy today. I got it back to 3-2. I missed doubles. He went 4-2. He ended up with 5-3, 5-all. I missed the 170 for win. He missed 104. I took that. I beat Johnny Clayton, which was a good game. And then Glen, he's a newcomer. You want to beat him, obviously. He's 3 times world champion. I'm just glad I got it done there at the end, but a great 170 took out, and you can't knock that.
Well, look, we've seen Michael van Gerwen and yourself, 2 regular winners on the PDC Tour, win this opening weekend. But we have seen Scott Baker yesterday, a semi-finalist, Glen Durrant in the final today. It doesn't get any easier. There's more and more talent coming through. Some of the young players coming through. Young lad Christian Bunce has played some good darts this weekend. It is tough.
It is tough. I've always said it. Like, when I come through, I come through at the right time, because it was a little bit easier than what it is now. And I am glad when I come through. I am glad, but it's a tough school. We're here to play darts, and you need a bit of luck in darts to win tournaments. I had a bit of luck today. I won't say I didn't, but I got the job done.
And your 8th career 9-darter today as well.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it. We had 2 on the live stream. We didn't see yours. I bet it was probably better than the other 3 hit today, wasn't it, Chiz?
It was all in the middle, man. No, I heard that Chris Dobie hit a 9-dart at 5-all, and you'll know that we practice together. I'm coming here and like, well, I'm gonna have a pop myself then, and I did. So it's like me and him practice paying off.
Well, look, a 13th PDC title, Chiz.
Yep.
What's the target for the rest of the year? I mean, once you start winning, sometimes you don't stop. We've seen you do that in years where you picked up 2, 3 titles in a row.
I'll say for last year, I've not been in the best place. I've had problems at home, but since like July last year, I started practicing a little bit more, and it shows. I'm hitting the doubles. My scoring is always good, but my doubles let me down most times. But my doubles are going in, and my wife Michaela keeps saying, "Get in the shed." She goes work, get in the shed, and she always texts me, "What are you doing? Are you in the shed?" Yep, I'm practicing. I haven't put work in, so work pays off.
Chizzy's Dart Shed. That's where this man has been forged. That's where Players Championship 2 was won. A 9-darter, one of 4 hit today. That's a 13th. 4 today. 4 today. Gert Nenches, Michael van Gerwen, you, Chris Dobie. 2 of them on the live stream. We will be back next weekend here in Wigan for Players Championship 3 and 4. This man will be here, won't you?
I'll be here.
Of course he's here. And he might well pick up more titles, because once he starts winning, sometimes he doesn't stop.
Like that.